Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to go through custom speech and speech playground inside of Azure AI Foundry. So custom speech is for enhancing speech recognition for your target scenario. And when you first click into custom speech and speech studio, the first thing you see is a whole bunch of information. So we're going to go through that together. So the first thing it offers is a definition here, but also you can just directly click to find speech, fine-tune speech. But I wouldn't suggest that. I would suggest that you go through this information first. So we're going to go through it together. So if I scroll down, the first thing that's shown here are examples of how fine-tuning speech to text benefits your use case, right? And they have several different use cases here as examples. Biology, media entities, and spoken bot, right? So let's look at one of these kind of just to see how this works. So the first one is biology, and the target use case here is to improve accuracy and legibility of live captioning for the science conference presentations and discussions, right? So they have a small number of sample audio recordings where they collected human labeled transcripts for evaluation purposes. They prepared uncommonly used related biology terms and phrases, and then some dinosaur names were provided with spoken format pronunciation data to improve recognition. And what they're looking to improve here, their targeted improvements are terminology and pronunciation, and their training time is several minutes. So this is the use case here, and this is what they're trying to do. And then if we scroll down a little bit, you'll see that there's some samples. So when they used the base model, they were not getting the desired results. So they decided to use a custom speech model. And so, for example, the black vulture is also known as Corey Gibbs, but really it's supposed to be Corrigips, right? So they used the improved custom speech model, and this is what it came out as.
The black vulture is also known as Corrigips atratus.
So you can see that that's exactly how they want it said. And then I'll just show you a couple more examples. So they have here, the base model said, Cervus elephas is commonly known as elk, but I think they wanted it to say Cervus, Cervus. So this is what the result came out as.
Cervus elephas is commonly known as elk.
So perfect. That's exactly what they wanted. Same thing here. I don't even know if I can say this. Ornitholestis, I think is right, came out as one of the lestis. And so this is what it came out as after using custom speech.
Ornitholestes was an egg.
Ornitholestes. See, this is a great example of why you need custom speech. So, so this really helped improve terminology and pronunciation for them. And then when you get a chance, go through and take a look at these other two examples. I won't go through them today, but you should definitely look at them yourself. So if you scroll down a little bit more, there's a great video here so you can see how the custom speech model was created. It's 7 minutes long, so we're not going to go through it on this video, but definitely your homework is to watch this video. The other thing is they have the sample data on GitHub. So if you click out here, it will take you to GitHub, and then you can actually go and see the data that they use to train the custom model, and you can do it yourself too, which would be a good exercise before you get started on your own. And they have it in different languages as well. And of course, very important, every time you need to read the README for sure. Okay, so going back, let's scroll down a little bit. So they do also explain here the type of speech to text improvements that speech can make, and they're based on 5 points, right? So the first one is terminology. So if you want to improve with text-based data, and you specifically want to improve the recognition accuracy on, like jargon, for example, like medical terminology or financial, or dinosaurs. So you can see here they have the dinosaur names listed. And then sentence structure is the next one. So that if you want to recognize a particular pattern in utterances that differ only by words or phrases from a list, you can do that as well. They have a great example here where it says, I have a question about at product, where at product is a list of possible products, and then they say the at product equals apple, orange, banana, kiwi, etc. The third one is pronunciation. So if you want to improve the recognition of a word or a term that's as a non-standard pronunciation, a good example is product names, right, or acronyms, then you can use this as well. So here's a good example here, IEEE, IEEE as IEEE as it's commonly said. The fourth one is acoustic variance. So you would do with this, you would try to improve recognition on certain speaking styles or accents, or even most importantly, background noises. So the example they gave is good because they're talking about a coffee franchise that has a drive-through ordering outside with a specific microphone model, and the conditions could vary. So you want to make sure that you have, an improvement in that acoustic variance. And then finally, output format. So this is where you want to create output text format rules like reformulation, or maybe you want a profanity filter, or you want to use ITN or inverse text normalization. So they gave a example of all three of these. Like this, I think this is a really good one. Like T93 to 4523, but maybe you want it spoken as T-932-4523, or just T932-4523. You want that pause there. So that's an example of this. Okay, as going down now, just like with custom professional voice, they have like a step-by-step here: evaluate, define targets, collect data, train model, integrate. So this is actually just giving you an idea of the base steps to do this, but definitely you should go out and read this quick start, which kind of elaborates a little bit more on each of these, so that you can get a better understanding before you start on exactly what needs to be done. And it takes you, step by step here. So make sure that you read this stuff as well. And then you can also do a quick test with real-time speech to text. So what this does is it takes you out to back out to the playground, and then you can actually talk into the microphone, and it'll show you how you can test with like real-time speech to text. And then also, if you click out to this, it takes you out to more documentation, so you can create a test here so that you can test out recognition quality of a custom speech model. So another must read. Make sure you read through everything before you get started. Okay, and then this is really valuable down here as well. So you can either use a phrase list or a custom speech model. So what's the difference, and when do I use each, right? So first, phrase lists, these are simple and lightweight, and they're a good way to improve your recognition if you have just unique words or phrases, like people's names, places, or really jargon specific words, and this will be done in runtime, right? And you don't have to use one or the other. You can use both at the same time as well. So just to break it down a little bit more, they've done a good job here of saying what is just in time. Just in time is a phrase list is provided just before starting the speech recognition, right? So at runtime, and it eliminates the need to train. If you don't want to train a full custom model, you can just use phrase list basically. Why is it lightweight? You don't have to have a large data set, right? You just put words or phrases in just to boost the recognition, right? Now, that begs the question, like, when do I use a custom speech model, right? If you have something that's more complex and you've got, diverse speech patterns or language variations, like accents, pronunciations, speaking styles, and if it's more than 500 phrases that you're trying to recognize, it's better practice to do a custom speech model, right? The other thing is about phrase lists are what they are, right? You put the words, you put the phrases in there. But with custom speech models, you can fine tune them, right, to better match what your desired output is. But like I said, you can combine both. You can use the phrase list, you can use the custom speech model, and it will give you improved accuracy. They gave a really good example here. So, if you're providing captioning for a soccer broadcasting, you can use the custom speech model with the soccer terminology and maybe common, broadcasting jargon, which is common among like all soccer matches. But the just-in-time phrase list becomes effective if you're doing specific players' names, right? or you can change that every game. Like each game is going to have different players, right? So you can change that, so it's faster to do it that way rather than to train like multiple custom speech models for every single game, right? So that gives you a good understanding of kind of how to how to get started here. Make sure that you review all of this information, and once you're ready, you can just go to Fine Tune Speech, and then you click in here and you can get started, and it'll walk you through exactly how to do it. And so and when you're ready, you'll know what you're doing, you'll know what to put in there, and you can create your first custom speech model. So that's it for today. Thanks so much for joining. If you liked this video, please subscribe and like this video, and let me know what kind of models you guys are training in the comments. I'm really interested to know. All right, thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.